So we're going to call the Victoria County Municipal Council meeting for Monday, May 4th to order. The agenda has been circulated. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Hearing none, can we have an approval of the agenda for today's meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Budge, seconded by
Second.
Deputy Warden Daphne. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Contrary minded? Motion is carried. The agenda has been approved and the meeting is commencing. So our first item up for business, we have the minutes for the council meeting of April 20th, 2020. They have been circulated to you. Are there any errors or omissions with those minutes? Hearing none. We have a motion to approve those minutes, please.
So moved.
So moved.
Moved by Councillor McGinnis, seconded by Councillor Budge. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Minutes have been approved. Is there business arising from those minutes? Any business arising from those minutes?
So I just have a couple of things to note related to those.
Yes.
I sent out my report related to minimum planning standards. We're doing a joint application to the province, which includes Inverness, Richmond, Victoria, and Port Hawkesbury, to see if we can form a joint minimum planning standards committee to get started on our minimum planning. And also something that's not in the last minutes, but from former minutes, we had a flag policy that was circulated probably a month and a half, 2 months ago. Just wondering if we haven't approved that policy yet, so we'll have to get that approved at some point. Maybe I would like to see if I could get some comments back by maybe Friday of this week, and then we'll take it to the next council session to have it approved. If that's okay.
Sounds
Can't hear
good.
you, Warden. Yeah.
Sorry about that. I was stuck on mute. So would you you'll recirculate that again just for review, and we will make a recommendation, any suggestions to you by Friday of this week, and it will we'll look at any recommendations or suggestions, then we'll have it as an agenda item to be tabled at the next council meeting for approval. We good with that, council? Okay, and any other business that you want to bring up?
Good.
Just a couple of other things. I've sent out, again, my CAO report. There's a couple of things in there that I'd like to talk about. We were sent a cost share agreement from TIR related to cost sharing of subdivision streets. We've received them in the past also, but this one is a 3-year agreement. And I was going to send it off, sign it and send it off, but I need a resolution from council related to this cost share agreement. So I'm wondering if I could do a resolution that the warden and myself, Leanne McCacken, be authorized to sign the cost share agreement number 2020-021, so that we could send this off. It's a document that was sent to me from TIR. So I just wondering if I could have a motion related to that.
Okay, so that's a similar agreement that we've had in previous years. We used to do it every year. This document is for 3 years.
Correct.
That's the only difference. So is council okay with that?
So
I
moved.
move.
Yep.
I move.
So I heard Councillor McNeil make the motion, and who seconded it? I'm sorry, I had two voices there.
I'll second that, Deputy Warden.
seconded by the deputy warden. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very
Great,
much.
thank you.
Motion
Aye.
is carried. Okay,
So just note that on there.
thank you very much. The motion is carried and we can proceed with signing the resolution.
Thank you. I have just one other thing that I want to talk about on my report, but I probably will leave that for the taxation update.
Okay. So with your report that incorporates old business and new business, so is there any, perhaps if you would go through that list for old business, and perhaps comment briefly on each one of them, as there may be people that are listening that don't have that document with.
Okay, so two of them, one was the flag policy, the other was the minimum planning standards, which we spoke about.
Right?
Last council session, we had a request to have condolences sent to CBRM and Colchester, which we have done. And my other only piece related to old business is the PCAP application that there was a motion to accept last week has been applied for.
Okay. Very good. Thank you very much. We'll move forward to, is there any other old business that we wish to bring up this evening? All right, we'll move on to new business. Leanne.
Okay, so new business. This last week, just letting you know on collections and rejections, we are down drastically related to earlier in April. We seem to have a spike in our rejected bags, but this week we're nowhere near where we were this time last year, which was around 1 or 2 bags
You do.
rejected overall.
Okay.
And
Okay, great.
we'll
Very-
mute Mira.
Good
And
enough.
yeah, and this week we were at 17 rather than the 59 from earlier in April. So anyway, we're up higher than we have been in the past, but working on getting them down as well. Some things that have been going on in the other departments that we're at. In tourism, Dan has been working on a digital marketing social media course, which we are offering through Labor and Advanced Education. Figure it's a good time to have some of our operators learning some new skills, and he put together this training course. There was 12 spots available on the first one, and within 15 minutes, I think he had 8 registered for it after it was announced. There's 19 registered currently for it, so he's going to have to do a second offering of it. So that's really great that there's some training that they are taking us up on. That's good. He's also had some operators forums and Destination Cape Breton meetings. He's been doing some contingency planning on opening with operators currently on what it's going to look like for this year. And this year they are figuring that operations are expected to open, but they're probably going to be down to about 70% of where they were in prior years, and the fall shoulder season they might be at 60%. So they're probably going to see, or hopefully there will be some federal, provincial help to help our operators get through the winter months. He's also working on the website upgrade and conversion of our website, which is going to make our website more user-friendly than what it is and easier to find things on. So it's in the works at this point. Our recreation active living department has been working on trails groups, has been exploring home options to get people active and taking courses, and also looking into different options for helping with seniors and Meals on Wheels. Patrick has been working with several different businesses, but has been focusing a lot of his attention in Ganesh currently, and some of you have been on some calls with federal and provincial representatives that we have been having related to ongoing initiatives down there. Related to finance department, we are having a budget meeting on Wednesday. We have updated numbers in several different areas for related to what we feel are going to be some of our COVID effects, and it's probably not going to look as rosy as we think that it's going to. There's also a tax repayment plan that has been introduced, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. And our audit is still going to be going ahead in May. Public Works area, dealing with Robert and Kelly related to tipping fees, which we just had a Public Works meeting on. PCAP application is going in related to water line extension in Ingonish. We are in the process of exploring back to operations, keeping an eye on the state of emergency that we have, that we're in, and looking to see about opening our operations slowly and safely. And then just regular meetings that have been going on. I have had 8 meetings with AMAN's board related to this tax repayment plan. We have daily department head meetings. I just, as of today, I've cut them back since the Premier cut them back to 3 times a week. I'm now going to do them less often than every week. There's also NSFM check-ins that go on every week. Just to let you know that we have held 1 interview, Zoom interviews this week related to a replacement of one of our positions. Just some stats that you might be interested in related to council views that have been happening. Probably the most important one, or well, the way that I believe that most are watching this would be on Facebook. Our last sessions were viewed 32 times live. I'm not sure if it's noted how many times are there currently today, which I'm sure we'll get some updates on, but it was 45 hours of Facebook council session that was viewed. There was more than 417 people that watched more than 10 seconds with the sound on. I guess that's a big stat to have 10 seconds. And there was 210 people that watched more than 1 minute. So that's all you can expect these days, I suppose. So that's where we're at. And I spoke a little bit wrong on the operators, how it's going to look. It's reduced by 7. I guess I was way too optimistic on that. It's reduced by 70 or 60 to 70% down to 30% of regular business for our operators. Sorry, I read that stat wrong earlier today. And I'm just being told here that there's 33 people currently watching. Council.
Well, we welcome those that are watching council on Facebook. So are there any questions for the CAO with her report this evening?
No questions, but FYI, we had a meeting with Adam Shore
Right.
on mountain bikes, trails in the area. He wants to have kind of a mountain bikes throughout Nova Scotia, mountain bike trails throughout Victoria County. So actually it was an informative meeting, and I think we're going to have another meeting shortly in the near future.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other questions or comments for the CAO? Just wondering with the digital marketing social media course, is that a 1, 2, 3 session course, or how is it? And are the participants coming from across the municipality?
They are, and I believe it's a 40-hour course. It's going to be offered over several weeks. Yep, and the sign up was really quick, and it's 5 weeks long, so it'll be an 8-hour session each day.
Very good. It's a good commitment. It is a commitment for those that are going to take it, and we certainly recognize.
Yeah, 8 hours a week. Yeah.
8 hours a week, and we want to recognize Dan as well for offering that to industry. And obviously, it's very important to us, particularly this year in particular. So, all right, hearing no additional questions for the CAO on her report, we're going to leave new business and we're going to ask CAO to provide a taxation report.
Okay, so here's where we're at as of today. Today's taxes, we have 1.086 million outstanding. That is 629,000 in current and 457 in arrears. This is compared to 1.222 million outstanding this time last year. So that's a difference of approximately 136,000 to the good, 61,000 better in current and 75,000 better in arrears. So we're doing okay for now. We're collecting some even without collection efforts, as our staff is cut back in our collections downstairs. Since our last council session, we have collected 46,000 towards current and arrears, compared to about 69,000 this time last year. So it is showing its effects, but we are getting closer to our goal. So this is a really a positive note. Our outstanding balance now is closer to the $1 million mark in total. We didn't reach that amount last year when we billed out, so we are that much farther ahead currently. But we know that COVID is going to have a serious effect on our numbers. So just to let you know, we were talking with the province, or looking to get in touch with the province as a province, as all municipalities collectively, to ask for some help. This help is related to cash flow, because we can bill all the taxes we want, but we know we will have an issue in collections this year, just based on the stats of our operators being down to 30% of their regular business. So kudos to the province for coming back with something for us. There's been several provinces that have not received any help from the province that they are in. So Nova Scotia is trying to help. There isn't one solution that is going to fix every municipality across the province equally. However, what they have come back with is the ability to offer each municipality what they expect to be short in cash flow this year related to taxes, to property taxes. We're going to be short in some other revenues that we normally collect, but this agreement or this loan that they are willing to offer us is related to property taxes. So ideally, the way that the system is going to work is the province will lend us money, and we will in turn, at an extremely low rate of borrowing, we will in turn that around and offer micro loans, let's say, to individual property owners that qualify for a property tax repayment plan. So ideally, everyone is in good outstanding balances with us currently, and we will then be able to pass on a loan to them. So this loan will be, again, at this extremely low rate, and we will be offering the ability for them to pay that back within a 2-year period. So we are not able to write off taxes or defer taxes or anything like that, but we are able to offer a repayment plan related to those taxes. So if anyone has outstanding taxes from prior years, they'll still be at the current rate that they are owing on. But 2020's taxes can be paid back over a 2-year period with an extremely low interest rate. It's going to be an administrative nightmare to keep track of all of it, but it's the best that we could receive from the province right now. So we're thankful for it, and we'll have to do the best that we can with what's being offered.
Thank you very much. Do any of the councillors have any questions in regard to the repayment plan? So, Councillor McLeod, do you have your hand up?
Yes, when it's going to be available that? Do they have any dates?
So what I will need from council is a resolution to, a resolution directing staff to submit a formal request to the province. The province is then sending it to MFC, who MFC says that they're going to have a very quick turnaround on this. So we know the number that they are willing to offer. We just need to know how much we are asking to borrow. So we put together some rough, and it's really just a guess at this point of what we feel we are going to be short. But the number that we came up with was about $3.6 million. So from this year's current taxes, we feel like we're gonna have trouble collecting this year about $3.6 million. So before we can borrow it, we will need a resolution from council, and we can then in turn set up a template where, and actually I think it's going to be a provincial-wide template that will be available that people can go in and put their application in, and then it will be delivered to each individual municipality to get them into the system for qualifying for this. So we're hoping to have that up and running shortly, within the next couple of weeks, so that it's in place by the time that the bills go out.
Right, and just two quick comments with that. One is MFC, for people that aren't familiar with the acronym, the Municipal Finance Corporation, which is the lending institute that will be providing the funding, correct?
Yep, correct.
And the second point, just point of clarification, we will need a resolution or a motion to move forward, but I just wanted to make sure council, if they had any questions or concerns before we ask for the motion, that now is the time to ask that, ask for any information that you require. So thank you, Councillor McLeod. Do any other councillors have any questions, or the deputy warden have any questions? So I see Councillor Johnson.
Just a quick question.
I'm
Leanne,
sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Leanne, is it a loan or a line of credit?
What we are getting is a loan.
the municipality gets the loan, and then we
in turn turn it around to thousands of micro loans.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Patterson. Councillor McDonald had his hand up.
And just when you said microloans, when you return that back, is that just for residential property, or can
No,
commercial small business apply as well?
any taxpayers.
Okay, thank you.
So it is for residential or commercial?
Yeah, it has to be somebody that has been affected by COVID. We are encouraging anyone that can pay their bills to pay them. And there will be something that shows, like, you have to be able to show that you have been COVID affected. So if you are a business who has been COVID affected, then yes, you qualify. If you are a resident that has been COVID affected, yes, you qualify.
And do you have to be a Nova Scotia resident or a Canadian resident to apply?
You do. Yep. Yep.
We have a number of foreign owners as well, so that's good to know as well. Are there any other questions or comments? If you would, just raise your hand and we'll. Councillor McGuinness, unmute, please.
Oh,
You're good now.
yeah. When did the bills go out?
Our bills have gone out between the 2nd and 3rd week of June last year.
Yes.
So I would expect that they will be going out about the same time this year.
Okay, thank you.
We also are going to have to come up with, we're going to have a policy done up that will show what the qualifications are, how this is going to work. These are all work in progresses that are happening right now. So it's going to look as similar to one across the province can look right now. So it shouldn't have a whole lot of individual wants and needs related to it. They're asking that this stay as non-political as it can be. But we will have our own little bit of a spin on it as well. But it'll look similar to the rest of the province. Anyone that's taking part in it. We don't have to take part in it, but we feel it's a good program to help out our residents. So we can't do it on our own.
Okay, and Councillor Budge, you're not on video. Do you have any questions? I just asked you because you're on audio.
No, it sounds like we should do that as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think for this evening's purposes, CAO is looking for direction from council to provide a motion to apply for the, I guess it's called the municipal taxation repayment plan that is available from the province of Nova Scotia. So if everybody is satisfied, we certainly would like to have a decision, and if the intent of council is to proceed to apply, we would need a motion indicating that. So
I'll make that a motion.
Thank you, Councillor Budge. Do we have a seconder for that, please?
Second it.
Seconded by the Deputy Warden. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? The motion is carried. So with that, we will have more detail at the budget meeting on Wednesday as what the amounts will be. It's just more about, for tonight's purposes, whether we need to give you direction that we are interested in applying and giving you permission and the Chief Financial Officer permission to proceed with applying for that particular program.
Correct. And we will have a policy that we'll be forwarding on also when we have it closer to ready to be sent out.
Okay, thank you. So that's good. Is there anything else under the taxation update that you wish to?
No, that's it.
Okay, and then we're going to switch gears. We're going to go to Department of Transportation Infrastructure Renewal. We allow it as an agenda item for each council meeting. I know that some of the councillors had an opportunity to meet with, we assume, some TIR officials earlier this last week. However, we will go through this process. At District Number 1, do you have any district concerns for transportation?
Actually, I brought up quite a few last Monday at the TIR meeting. There was one issue came up just with spring thaw and flooding with the small culvert down in Lower Washabuk. If that could be put in the letter to TIR.
Okay, we will put that on the letter, and that's your one since.
That's the one issue. Yep.
District Number 2, Councillor MacLeod.
No, nothing. I addressed everything last week, so everything is up to date. Thanks.
Thank you very much. District Number 4. You'll have to unmute, Councillor McGuinness.
Sorry about that. Just a little bit of good news. I had an email from MLA Bain, who was in contact with John Mikhailovich, and hopefully within 2 weeks, the ferry service will be back in place. Now, for how many days that will be, I don't know, but it's going to come back in place. That's a little bit of good news, I guess, which will be pretty critical because the lobster season will be open in a week from, 11 days time, and a lot of people come across that ferry at various hours of the morning, so
very good.
A lot of traveling for them.
Good news. Thank you for that update.
Okay.
District Number 5.
Thank you. Just one thing, and I believe TIR is aware of it. The rain this week washed out a culvert at the end of the McLean Road, and it actually took some of the pavement that was done a few years ago. It took quite a chunk into the shoulder. So anyway, we'll put it in the letter just to reinforce the concern about it.
Thank you, Councillor. District Number 6.
Yeah, thank you, Warden. No, nothing dealing directly with Steve on a couple of issues, but a little bit of good word I heard today that construction has started on Smoky again. So hopefully we'll see that completed in the near future. Other than that, we're good. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Deputy Warden. District Number 7.
No, Warden, not a thing.
Thank you. And again, we had an opportunity to bring a number of concerns to TIR last week, so that's why there's a short week this week. District number 8.
No, the only thing was I had a call from a resident on Fraser Road there in Bay St. Lawrence, but that issue was brought up as well with TIR last week, and looks like there'll be some work completed there with the RIM project this year. So other than that, good for District 8, sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. That concludes our Department of Infrastructure renewal concerns for this evening. We're going to move on to, are there any notice of motions this evening? The next agenda item on will be district concerns, and we will start at the top of the island with district number 8.
Yes, sir. Just one concern was, as we discussed in the Public Works meeting regarding the transfer station here in District 8, residents were calling, inquiring, looking for further updates to see if there was any easement of possible so they could take in their garbage from spring cleanup and that with heavy garbage that had been canceled, and realizing that it's provincial, that there'll be updates coming soon from Public Works with that. They were looking for direction if and when maybe the facility may open.
Yes, and maybe we just had a Public Works meeting at 4 o'clock, so maybe let CAO update what decision was made and what direction we're going with that in that regard. So
Yeah. So there's been no decisions made currently. There is an FAQ available for current situation. However, we are having a meeting. I'm having a meeting with management at Public Works tomorrow, and we will be looking to do a safe, slow reopening of some sort. So as we come up with decisions, we will be letting the public and council know about that. So,
thank you.
you know, we haven't had any cases here in a while. Hopefully that will stay. And we're watching the state of emergency also, and we're worried about the safety of our staff and the residents, but we will be doing what we can because we are hearing the concerns with people who are wanting to drop their stuff off.
Thank you very much. Any additional comments, Councillor McDonald? Or?
Yeah, I'd just like to make a mention to that today is International Firefighters Day, and I'd like to send it out to all Victoria County fire departments and just thank them for their service thus far and keep up the good work. Other than that, we're pretty good for District 8.
Thank you very much, and thank you for acknowledging Firefighters Day. It's very important for our communities, every one of them. We saw it here earlier this week in Badek, where we had a fairly significant fire that was responded to by our department. So well done for bringing that up. We're going to go to district number 7. Councillor Fudge.
Yes, I'd like to get $1,800 from my district budget to alleviate the problems we've been having on McLeod's Road with flooding. So what they're going to do is put a French drain in there, and hopefully that'll take care of it, because it's been washing out real bad this spring.
Okay, that is a motion. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes. So do we have a seconder for that motion, please?
I'll second that.
Seconded by the Deputy Warden. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion is carried. The $1,800 will be forwarded. Anything else, sir, or is?
No, that's it. And the thing with that, when the bill comes in, just take it out of my district budget.
We certainly will.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Councillor Fudge. Deputy Warden Daphne, District 6.
Thank you, Warden. Just a couple of things. Being spring and all that, every year we have residents that do cleaning, picking up garbage in the ditches and whatnot. Just not sure with a situation right now with COVID if we have staff. I guess the question I'm having is a couple here. One is, will we or can we provide gloves and garbage bags once again? Second part is, if it is to take place and say we have a central location to drop stuff off, do we have staff to pick it up, or is that something we should put on hold for now? Don't need an answer right now, but if Public Works tomorrow could have a look at that and provide some direction, it would be greatly appreciated.
So I can tell you that there has been clear bags and blue bags and gloves ordered for each district. We have those. We will be looking to see if we can send them possibly on the trucks or some way down to each of the different districts so that they will be available. And I will discuss the pickup of that tomorrow, and I will let you know.
That's perfect. Greatly appreciate it there, Leanne. The other thing is, I know, Leanne, you already mentioned you're working with the other counties in regards to planning. That was one of my questions. Again, I know the province is initiating that, so thanks very much for following up on that. The other thing, I'm still very concerned with service stations. I don't know if anyone noticed in the Cape Breton Post, but we do have a service station in Cheticamp that is closing down. Just can't survive under the current conditions. We have a number of them in our county, which are critical to our tourism and fire protection, everything really. And I'm still very concerned. I'm not hearing anything positive from the service stations. I've talked to one local station. You know, he paid around $360,000 in taxes that he provided the government last year. So if we can push that up to Patrick and the Cape Breton Partnership, I'm still very concerned about our service stations here in Victoria County. So I'd like to, if we could move that up to Patrick, it would be greatly appreciated. And that's it for District 6.
Thank you very much, Deputy Warden, and we'll make sure that those concerns are forwarded to Patrick Austin. We are going to District number 5, Councillor Patterson.
Thank you. Just to get back to normal for a minute or two, and we can do this later on, I had a request for information on heritage property designation, and I was able to find quite a bit about the provincial one under their website, but I'm still searching for information on the municipal one. So I just want to get it in the minutes, and if anybody, Heather, maybe if you could help me out, I'll email you or whatever, how the designation comes about municipally. The provincial one is pretty well spelled out, but missing the other part. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. We're going to District number 4, Councillor McGuinness.
Oh, just the normal day-to-day stuff. An ongoing concern, of course, all the time is our lack of cell coverage in this area. We have a large gap basically from prior to New Brook all the way pretty much to the Gaelic College, which is non-existent, and it's only one part of the county. And also there are ongoing concerns with high-speed internet. It's not very adequate. I know I had some problems. I'm not very savvy with a computer, but even I couldn't join in on the last one of the meetings we had last week. Can't remember which one, but it's just, you know, we have to be adjusting our router every so often. It's just inadequate, you know. It's not getting much better, but that's an ongoing thing all the time. But on a positive note, prior councillor just made me think of it. I think we should send a letter of congratulations to Mr. Patterson's daughter, Amy, for her selection. And her father will have to remind me the exact award, but I know she's been shortlisted. So I think it'd be appropriate that we send a letter of congratulations to her, and Mr. Patterson can fill in the info.
Councillor Patterson, the inside, please.
How long have you got? Thank you, Meryl. I appreciate that, and she appreciates that too. She was out of 84 submissions, she's on the short list of 3 for the Stephen Leacock Award, which is a national literary award. So we're a little bit proud of her, put it that way.
Justly so.
And just now's your opportunity, Fraser, perhaps give us the name of The
Oh,
title
the
of
book, it's a novel. It's based in Cape Breton, actually, and the title of it is Crow. And if you go to the bookstores in Sydney, it has a yellow cover, so it stands out. The last time I was there, you can't miss it. Anyway, and I have a few for sale too in the back of my car too. So
Well done. You were given the opportunity to promote. You did very well, so you'll be pleased. Anything else, Councillor McGuinness, before we move?
No, that's it. Great.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go to Councillor 2, District 2, Councillor McLeod.
Okay, thank you. I have one about East Cavan Falls. Now we are currently now in our council meetings and keep going like the new normal. So I would like to, the last email I have from them was in November 2019, saying they were going to do some updates in the falls. And I just wondered if we can send a letter again for invitation. Will be maybe a virtual meeting just to tell us what they are doing from the last 2 years. What is they going to do for 2020? And we can address what they're going to do about the safety in winter time. After all, the last event we have in this winter. So I would like, if council is okay, invite them and give us an update. And if any of the districts have anything for DNR, we can address at that moment. Because it's for a long time, I'm waiting, my district is waiting, my residents are worried about what's going on with that park. So we need just an answer as soon as possible.
Very good. So I think we put that in form of a motion. If you would mind that we contact National Resources and ask them to meet with us to discuss their current plans for East Cavan Falls, also address any other issues that other councils make districts. So
That will make that motion. Yeah.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, and I do know there are other councillors with questions and concerns for DNR, so that will be forwarded from the municipal.
Yeah, if the manager can come, it's fine, but somebody, the staff can answer our questions. Somebody have to come. I know the manager maybe is busy, but somebody, he can refer for somebody.
Okay, very good. Any other?
Yeah, I have, but Councilor McGuinness said about the broadband. It's the same for me. My district, suppose we was going to have an upgrade about our with Seaside. So I wonder if I have some information or invite them again for this year. What is the plan? I have knowledge there was going some money coming, and so in what stage we are that way too for broadband.
Okay, so we will be, there is a request via a motion to have broadband meet with us to give us an update on
for all the districts. Yeah.
Sorry,
and I have, yeah.
Just before we leave that, Councillor, we just need a seconder for that.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Seconded by Councillor McGuinness. All in favor?
All right.
Contrary minded? Motion's carried. Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry about that. Leanne, just a question about, we have the septic program, remember? We was going to talk about, I don't know if it was in place or what is, if you can check it out with the staff and you weren't going to do it or not. Right now it's springtime and everybody's trying to build stuff and make some renovations.
Yeah, I think that it was just wording that we were waiting on related to it, and I can check on that for sure. Because
for the next council meeting, it will be great.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. And yeah, the wording.
That's all. Thanks.
So it relates back to the regulation that would be in effect, I think. So it's a simple change, so that should be easy to fix. So yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're going to district number 1.
Yeah, a couple of things. We have broadband problems here throughout the district too, throughout my district. I've been in touch with John Swante. He's the Alliant rep for the maritime provinces. He's the head engineer. He's looking into the problems in the areas. That's what he's saying anyway. He was supposed to get back to us with maps for the Ingonish area, not Ingonish area, but the Dingwall area, what was going to be done in, they got the first phase contract for that area. We, as far as I know, the partnership hasn't received those. It was supposed to be last week that we received them. So it's difficult to deal with Alliant on issues like this. It is. And believe me, I've been trying the last 2 weeks, especially for issues in District 1 and in Councillor McGuinness's area too. The second thing I have is just an observation. With the loosening of the regulations that the provincial government did for fishing and other recreation activities, the last weekend people were out in hordes in this area, and they weren't doing social distancing or anything. People must remember this epidemic isn't over. And especially like if they're coming to our areas and stuff, please practice the social distancing. People are worried. They haven't been calling me directly, but I see on social media quite a bit. And like I said, the epidemic isn't over. And if this continues, it'll last longer. So I just want that to be noted.
It's a very good point, and I'm not sure, maybe I'll refer a question to the CAO, as maybe we can send out a reminder to our communications officer to be cognizant of the fact that as the province relaxes some of these activities, to make sure that they're aware that there is still risk, and to manage themselves accordingly. So
That's part of what the communication has to be if the transfer stations open up also.
exactly. Maybe we can incorporate that and make it part of the larger communication as well.
Yeah, Perla has her hand up.
Okay.
Regarding that, will be nice if we can send a letter to the RCMP just to remind them, more, we're more aware that our districts, they're getting more people, just to remind. I know they're doing their job, but more like a reminder to them to check out the districts more
It's
often.
important. Absolutely. Yep. Good point. Any other comments on that before we? So I just want to remove myself for the chair for 1 minute and ask the deputy warden to take over for a moment. I have one request. It comes from the Village of Adak. There is a program out. It's called the, sorry, I wrote it down here. It's a beautification and streetscape program. It's a program that's available through the province of Nova Scotia. It is a program that the participant and the province would share up to $25,000 on improvements in the community. The Village of Adak, as it's incorporated, is not eligible to apply. They have expressed some interest in applying for it so they can do some beautification projects within the village. They've asked if we would apply on their behalf. We are not required to provide any funding. We were just going to be the sponsor of the application. And in order for the application to go forward, they're requesting our assistance. So I would like to make a motion that we will submit as sponsor for the village an application for beautification and streetscaping program, as long as they meet all the requirements that are stipulated in the application process.
So we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a seconder for that motion?
I'll second that.
Aye.
Seconded by Councillor McGuinness. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Hearing none, motion passed.
Thank you very much. And that's the only district concern I have. I just have one comment we'll make at the end. Are there any committee reports to report on this evening?
Not for me.
Just following up with Councillor Patterson's request, we had a planning advisory committee meeting, virtual meeting, Zoom meeting last week in Badek, and one of the things that was going to be incorporated in the planning advisory is a heritage property policy and guidelines. So I think we can probably make that a municipal bylaw when we get it, Fraser, and there'll be criteria. And I think we can not only make it available for the area that is currently under planning, but we can extend it out to all areas of the municipality, and it'll clarify what will be required in order to meet and designate as a heritage property. So I think that will be a help to you as we move forward with that. Are there any bylaws this evening? None? Policy reviews?
Just the flag one.
Okay, and we'll have that for you next week.
And I'll resend the policy so that
Yes.
everyone has a fresh copy.
Any correspondence?
No, I have sent out everything that I have received, and you've received a copy of everything that has been sent.
Thank you very much. Just before we leave this evening, we certainly want to acknowledge our frontline staff that have been doing a wonderful job providing us services for the municipality. And we just want to recognize in the minutes that we as a council appreciate what they are doing, and we certainly respect the duties as they are conducting them. And we would like you to, and that's all frontline staff, not just our staff, but staff that are working anywhere in this province, in this country. So we want to acknowledge the contributions they're making, keep this country functioning while we're under this pandemic. So we'll reference that in the minutes this evening on behalf of all the residents in Victoria County. Just for those that are joining us, our council meetings are usually a bit longer. We haven't had any presentations during this time that we're doing virtual meetings. We're trying to keep our business of the municipality running, and that is why we have kept this meeting to the agenda that we have had this evening. As we move forward and become more comfortable with this process, we'll be adding presentations. We have a couple that are in the queue that we're going to add. And if anybody knows of anybody that wishes to make a presentation to council, we would suggest they get in touch with the CAO. Councillor McLeod, did you have a question or a comment?
You know what? I forget. Sorry. You was talking and I forget. Oh yes, about in our budget meeting, we're going to talk about the festivals and things that are not going to happen, or we're going to do it and give information next council?
As far as we know, for whatever festivals that are not happening, yes. Yeah, but for our community grants, we're not going to do that piece at this next meeting. We're going to just do the information that we have, and then we're going to schedule another one for community grants. But we should be able to come up with an estimate, I think, of approximately what we have in so far related to community grants, so that we can get a number closer.
So with that,
Thank you.
any final comments, questions?
I just have a question. I'm wondering, did we contribute any funding to the food bank from the county? Anyone recall that
We
do that?
We have, but I would say we haven't had a request. So
I think we was going to wait until budget, no, to see.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Larry contributed from his district budget.
Okay.
Next act, if anybody wants to contribute from the district budget, they're more than welcome, so.
Yeah. Good idea.
And I know they've received some funding federally. We have a question from outside. I'm just not sure what the proper process is to have this question for who it would be directed to and who is asking the question. So who do we go through to do that?
That's a good question. How do you know there's a question?
Sorry, I got notified that there was a question in the queue. Maybe not.
Okay, Jocelyn is at one in.
Yeah, there is a question coming in. We're just waiting for the right time. We'll get that to you as soon as we can. I think we'll text it in so that all panelists can see the question at the same time.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll take that question while we're waiting for that question to come in, our next virtual meeting is.
Okay, that's a good question because I think we had it scheduled for May 18th, but I believe that might be the holiday. So are we thinking the Tuesday or are we thinking the following Monday?
Councillor McDonald, what is your schedule for that? Unmute, please,
None.
sir.
So if you wanted to go with the Tuesday, I'm available that day after the holiday.
Yes. So are we okay with Tuesday, the 19th of May? So the
Oh,
question,
good.
we good? Sorry.
Good.
So the question from the CBC reporter this evening, is the $3.6 million an estimate?
Very much so an estimate. We are hoping that it's not going to be that high, but it is an estimate. So we took percentages of the different types of industries that we have in the area and applied a best guess of what we felt would have an issue related to it. So I think it was 70% of tourist operators and 40% of our residential taxpayers and any other businesses that we best guessed would be affected by COVID. So it is an estimate, but a best guess estimate, and it's based on industry.
And that was a question from Adam McNamara on behalf of CBC. Are there any other questions or comments before we end this evening's meeting?
Next week is Wednesday, budget meeting on Wednesday at 4, or what?
At 1.
At 1, okay, I'm sorry, okay, good. Thank you.
Councillor McLeod, do you have a question?
No, I think it's 2 questions in there. Oh no, in your QA.
Oh, I see it now. I think it's.
Oh, the answer. Oh no.
Were they satisfied with the answer?
This is in reference to
Tourism.
Yes.
So yeah. And
Okay.
you estimated 40.
Yeah, so the 60 to 70% was a meeting destination Cape Breton had and related to tourism related businesses, correct?
Anything else come to council this evening? We are,
Say what those are.
sorry.
Oh.
You have an answer. No?
We will be, I don't know if it's us. Our next council meeting will be May 19th, 5 o'clock. And we have budget meetings at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. And if that's everything, we will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you,
I
sir.
second that.
Thank you, council, as we work through this process, for your time and praise through the technology. Good evening.
Take care, all.
Thank you, everyone.
Evening.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
evening.
See you soon.
Dude, take care.
Yeah.